Hello.
Hello, Jade.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. How's it going, man?
Good.
So, yeah, this is Jonathan Zwickel from Rhapsody.com.
Okay.
And, yeah, before we get into this, I just want to make sure I know the pronunciation of your last name.
Okay. Puget, like Puget Sound.
It is like Puget Sound.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, cool, man. Thanks for taking the time. I appreciate it.
Sure, no problem.
And, yeah, where are you right now?
I'm actually home for a brief stint, which is kind of amazing.
Yeah, that's nice.
So I leave tomorrow, so.
You guys are going back out on tour solo?
We're actually going to New York for the VMAs, and then we're heading from there back on tour.
Right on. So on this recent tour, I guess you're playing a lot of new songs from December Underground.
Yeah.
And how are fans reacting to those?
Great. I mean, they go over as well or better than any other song. I mean, the stuff off the last album goes over really well, and like, for instance, Miss Murder, that song goes over better than anything off their last record.
Uh-huh. So are you finding that there's new kids coming out, or is it the same fans maybe? Like, can you tell the difference?
Yeah, new kids are, a lot younger, because
right.
Obviously our last record came out 3 years ago, so anyone even that was kind of a younger kid then is going to be a little older now, but there's a lot of, 14, 15-year-olds there that I'm sure weren't listening to us on the last record.
Uh-huh.
I mean, this is our biggest record so far, so, when you have a record that's bigger than your last one, that means you made new fans.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And, one thing I really like about you guys is how there seems to be so much progress from one album to the next.
Yeah, thanks.
And, it's cool that the fans will hang on, and, like, not just tolerate that, but kind of expect it, embrace it.
Certainly, that's one of the reasons why, I think we're able to do what we do, and this band's been around for 15 years, and we just released our biggest album yet, and I think a big part of that is because of our fan base. That fan base has been there for the last, 3 or 4 records or even longer, and, a lot of bands, they want their favorite band to, play a certain sound, and, like, that's the sound that they like, and they shy away from any kind of change, but with us, we're lucky to have kind of the opposite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is sort of unique in that Warped Tour world.
Definitely.
Where you see, like, a lot of kind of predictability going on.
Predictability and fans that are really fickle, and, when you're 15 years old, you might like one band, and then 3 months later, that band sucks.
Right.
The new band is, like, really what's going on.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so the fact that you guys have these dedicated fans, that's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's people that started listening to us when they were 14 or 15, and now they're in their mid-20s, and they've been listening all along, which is really amazing.
Yeah. Well, they're growing up as you guys do.
Yeah, and the band started when like, Davey and Adam were 15 years old, so they were, those little kids, kind of teenage.
And where's home these days?
I live in L.A.
Okay. Right on. But you're originally from Ukiah?
Yeah. Grew up in Ukiah.
And that's where you first ran across AFI?
Yeah, we went to high school together.
Okay. And you were in a different band to start out with?
Yeah, I was in another band, and both of our first release was a split 7-inch we did together.
Mm-hmm. This was, like, back in the early 90s?
Yeah, like 91, 92.
Okay. And what was it like growing up in Ukiah?
I mean, it was like a small town, and all the things that go along with growing up in a small town. It wasn't California, so maybe it was slightly more enlightened than somewhere else, but, still listening to punk and being a punk rocker, it was definitely the minority, and there's only a few people that really did it, and, you kind of looked down upon by the rest of the town, but...
Yeah, where did you get the music? Where did you first, like, hear punk rock, or what was the earliest influence that you can remember?
It was kind of through skateboarding, and, being a skateboarder put you on the outskirts as well. Because back then, skateboarding and punk rock were kind of hand in hand.
Right.
And so through that, and through people, like older kids, heard about punk rock and started listening to that kind of music, and kind of got into it that way.
And so, you're telling me that you've been doing this for a long time, and it sounds like, since you were, like, a kid, pretty much, and starting off in high school, and I'm wondering, like, did you ever think that you'd be in the game for this long, or, playing guitar for this long, or did you ever have anything else in mind that maybe you wanted to do?
Yeah, I actually started playing when I was around 17, and what I always wanted to do since I was a little kid was be a novelist, and so I I loved playing music, but really what I wanted to do is be a novelist, even though, it's kind of like a weird thing to want to be when you're a kid. But
yeah.
I went to college. I went to Berkeley, and while those guys were, out on the road, and I graduated, and the timing kind of worked out perfect for me because they all had to drop out of college to do the band, but I got to graduate and then join the band right after I graduated, so I kind of got to do both things. But I kind of just figured I would go to graduate school and just be a student, and I didn't really have any plans.
And do you do any writing these days?
Not really. I'd really like to, because I still want to write a novel, even if it never gets published or if it's really crappy, just to say I did it.
Sure.
But I don't know. Hopefully, it's so busy, and since I have to have the majority of the songwriting on my shoulders, then really I never have any free time to do anything like that.
But I imagine you have some pretty interesting experiences on the road, that would be good fodder for stories.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know necessarily that I would use, do any kind of autobiographical thing.
Maybe just inspiration.
Definitely inspiration. I mean, I kind of have an idea of what I want to do, and I think that you definitely need some life experiences to be able to write well, even if you're writing about something that's completely removed from your life.
So is it true that there are, fans doing the background vocals in Miss Murder?
Yeah, the Hayes on the chorus. We brought in some of our fan club members, like 35 of them, I think.
Well, you brought them into the studio?
Yeah, we actually had like a little contest just to get it down to a manageable number, and then actually brought them in the studio where we were recording and had them record the vocals on the song.
And what was that like? I mean, they must have gone nuts, huh?
It was great. I know that, that if I was in a fan club of a band that I really loved and I got to sing on the record, I would just be completely stoked. And so I'm sure that they were pretty happy to do it. And it was nice to... That kind of group vocal is when we play live, it's the crowd that's usually doing that. So we thought, let's have those people actually come in and sing it instead of just having us double up our own voices.
Yeah, that works really well, because then you get a little fan interaction as well as the sound you're looking for. And so you just got off a Warped Tour?
No, we were in Japan.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Wow. How was that?
Great. It's always great over there. It's fun. Fun country to visit and play in.
I mean, how does that compare with playing in the States?
It is actually different. I mean, people... First of all, we're not as well known there because just until recently we didn't have any distribution there, so people, the only way they could get our records was through imports. But we have great shows there. We played a big festival called Summer Sonic, which is like 100,000 people, and played with some great bands, and the shopping there is amazing.
How so?
Well, the shopping district in Tokyo, it's called Harajuku, is just kind of like Fifth Avenue and Rodeo, like combined and then multiplied by 2.
Whoa.
It's just great shops, and it's huge, and everything all the shops that you might find over here are just twice as good. I don't know why.
And the Japanese have a pretty peculiar sense of style, huh?
Yeah, they have, especially there, like all the, like that book Fruits that a lot of people are familiar with. It has all the, wacky Japanese like subculture and trends and stuff. A lot of that like kind of comes from Harajuku, and all those people kind of hang out in that area.
And then it's off to New York tomorrow?
Yep.
Are you guys playing VMAs?
No, we're up for a few awards, so we're just going.
That ought to be fun. I was actually in Miami last year
cool.
on the white carpet. Yeah, I was working at a newspaper down there and covering the event, so it was a really good time. Yeah,
those are fun. We played the VMAs the movie awards this year, and that was really fun because I've never even been to the movie awards, so that was a whole different experience.
Well, cool, man. I wish you luck with whatever you're up for. Is it Video of the Year?
We're up for Rock Video of the Year.
Yeah, excellent. Good luck with that.
Thank you.
And, Jade, thanks a lot for your time, man.
Sure, thank you.
All right, take care.